everyone, it's Miranda and Jesus.
Hey guys, what's good?
Today we have my sister, Nick.
Hello.
If you guys see Meow Meow in the background, sorry. I tried to lock her out, but she was screaming at the door, so I had no choice but to let her in.
That's okay.
So, Jesus, you had questions for her, and so you can ask her your questions, and then I'll just chime in when I feel like it, when I think of something cool to ask.
Okay, well, first, I wanted to ask, how did your parents like basically tell you, or how, did you find out that you were adopted? And did it happen when you were older or when you were younger?
No, basically I knew, I don't know a time when I didn't know. They told us at a very young age, me and my brother. Um, they said, I just don't know I always knew I was adopted. Once I comprehended it, it was like, no big deal, you're adopted. My mom just pretty much said that I was just a special gift, and, you know, my biological parents, they weren't able to take care of me, and so that's how they got me. And I was like, okay. I never really, I would forget even that I was adopted. Most of the time in my life I'm like, oh yeah, I'm adopted.
Um,
So
and then when we very first met, you told me you had been kind of you did your ancestry in 2014, right?
right.
What made you feel like you were ready to start doing that? Like putting that out there and
Well,
seeing if you could find
first
us.
of all, as you see, I'm very white. And I was told my biological father was Hispanic, and I'm like, well, I grew up in northern New Mexico. I know, like, I feel like I'm from here, but I'm just like, well, like I don't know. I just wanted to know, am I really even Hispanic? Because I doubted that. I didn't believe I really was, because I just don't look it,
She was like looking at her skin. She was like, I don't know,
Yeah, and her
it's
blonde
not
hair.
adding up. It is not
Yeah.
adding up. No.
Well, and if you see my baby pictures, I am like strawberry blonde. I am like, it's just, and I'm like, there's just no way. I think they lied, I didn't believe it. So then I did my ancestry, the DNA thing, and then it started popping up people. I had no idea who they were, but it was like, at first it just said I was mostly European, but it kind of went down, but it never really said Hispanic or anything like
Yeah.
that. So then as the years will go by, I wouldn't even pay attention to it. I'd kind of say, oh, you have a new relative. And I'd look, and it'd be like fourth cousin, last name, Guy Martinez or something. And I thought, okay, well, that's a good sign then, I guess. And then as
Like,
time went
it's not a
on,
lie.
as time went on, it got more and more popular. And so I just started like getting, like, I would see all kinds of random names all over northern New Mexico, Colorado, just, and I thought, okay, so I'm definitely related to people here in this state. And then that's kind of just, but I still never like reached out
Yeah.
to anybody until that girl, the cousin,
Our
she
cousin.
kind of emailed me and said, hey. So,
Oh.
I've always been content with everything. I never
Yeah.
felt like I was missing anything. In fact, everybody would tell me, you don't want to know, because what if they're crazy? And they just, people say, you
Yeah.
have it. But I'm like, well, you don't know how it feels to be me. So I know that that's a possibility, but I also know I'm in control of it. And if I don't want to talk to them, I won't.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and you
yeah.
know what's weird is the way I even found out about you. So it all started like 2 years ago. I got on Ancestry and I was just bored. Like just out of boredom one day decided I'm gonna start my family tree. And Rudy, his parents have like 8 brothers and sisters each. Like there was some crazy stuff. So just trying to do that alone took me like weeks and weeks. Well, through there, I found that uh, one of my grandma's sisters had a kid, and then she had a kid or something, like I don't know. It was one of our cousins, who I believe is like the same age as you. and I met her, and she actually was the admin for a page on Facebook for that side of the family. It was like the Lucero family tree. And so she added me, my cousin Mark and I, who was Betty's son. Wait, your picture went away, so can you still hear us? Okay, there we go. It's okay. That happens sometimes. If someone calls you, the picture will go away. But so
She was
Betty's
trying
son,
to leave, dude. She doesn't
I
want to
know,
be
she
here.
was
No, I'm
like,
just kidding.
I changed my mind. So
Um,
we met these people. I like became part of this group. I met a ton of cousins through there, and we stay in touch just here and there. She'll message me just to say, hey, hope things are well. Well, one day she messaged me and just was like, hey, there's this girl, and she, had an adoption on this year during like this month, blah blah blah. Do you happen to know if like any of your aunts or uncles happen to have a kid? And I was like, no, like my aunts wouldn't have been able to hide that. It wouldn't be a secret. We would all know. Maybe my uncle. And so I like started reaching out, and everyone's like, no, we don't know what you're talking about. And then she kept like hinting, like, hey, this might be your sibling, without saying it, because she was trying like not to make me freak out. But she doesn't know me, so she didn't know that I was gonna be like excited, right? And so then I was like, well, give me this
She kept
girl's
on being like,
information.
this person kind of looks like you, like,
Yeah. She,
it might, who knows? No, I'm just
yeah, that's kind of how she was acting. She was like, well, I'm not trying to say this might be your sibling, but I'm saying like this might be your sibling. And I was like, seems a little suspicious. I don't know. Like, give this person my number. So then she gave you my number, and then you message. I was assuming that you weren't gonna like reach out right away. I thought it might be months. And then same day, like within the hour, she was like, "Hi, it's me, like, our cousin, my cousin, whatever. I'm actress on Ancestry. Gave me your phone number." And I think we found out within like by the end of that day. I think I was like, "Oh, we're siblings." We had to go through the ropes of asking around, but
right.
we kind of figured it out right away based off just like asking Rudy questions, and then the secret came out right away when I did twist the truth a little bit to find out the truth. I like
you went all police interrogation on
I
on
did. I
on
had to
Rudy. You
pretend
didn't
I
even
already
care.
knew. No, I had to pretend I already knew. Like when I called Rudy, I didn't say, "Hey, this might be possible." I was like, "I found this out and I know." And he was like, "Oh, well." And then boom, the secret came out. And I was like, "I was pranking you, like, and you just told the truth." But now here we are.
Yep.
So it's been a wild couple of months, that's for sure.
I mean, it would be it just sounds like a movie, you're watching. I want to look for my family. It turns out I have a really big family. No,
Yeah. Like, uh, what does it feel like for you now? Like what? I think we found each other in December, I think, or something
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
Um, what did it feel like to find out that you had more siblings?
Well, once I immediately felt just calmness with you, and I wasn't nervous. I really just put in my head, okay, this is happening. Just take it as, it comes to you. And so with you, I felt an instant connection. And then when we talked and then when we saw each other, it was just like I like feel like I've known you, but all my life, you know, but
Yeah.
I don't know you. But
Well, and it
but
was
it yeah.
it was weird because when me and you were talking, and then you sent me a picture of you, like I was like, oh, she's blonde. Like I didn't see this coming. Like I thought she was gonna be like have like dark brown hair and stuff. But then when I zoomed in, we had the exact same green eyes, and I was like, that is definitely my sister. I could tell right away. And
Hmm.
I think I called you just now. I was like, you're not gonna believe what's happening. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I have a sister. I just know it. And then but it's kind of, I mean, this the same for me. Like so now you just had your brother before, and now you have three of us, right? That you didn't know existed
Hmm.
up until 6 months ago.
Right. Yep.
That's wild.
It is. It's cool. I mean, I think I'm very content and I'm happy with that. So it's all good.
And at this point, like you've met everyone, or let's say you start talking to Miranda, you've probably messaged other people, and then when did you know you were ready to talk to your birth parents?
Um, well, that wasn't too hard. I just finally said, "Hi, Rudy, it's Nicole," just like that, and just went with it. And then he called immediately, and
That's such an
you
old
know,
people thing to do.
hmm
Only
I
an
guess
old
I'm
person
old.
would do that. No, not you. I'm saying with him just calling right away. You text him
Yeah,
and he was just like, "Oh, I'll just call this person that I don't know."
right.
Like that. I was so stressed for you when you're like, "He's calling," and I was like, "No, he did
But
A
not."
heart attack.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he was, it was all good with that. And then right away, he's like, "Well, I want to meet you." And I said, "Okay." So, and then he's not too far from where I am. So we met and it was fine. It wasn't like tears or anything, but it was a little awkward at
Yeah.
first, but it wasn't like traumatizing or there wasn't awareness. He just stared at me a lot and he's all, "You look like your bio mom." And I'm like, "Oh," and you know, and just kind of just talked about like simple stuff in life.
Yeah.
hmm
You look a
Just,
lot like Rudy's dad. Like,
oh, really?
yeah, it's super weird. Because you guys have like a lot of similarities. But then when I look at like I have a lot of similarities to him too, but you have like all the opposite ones that I do. It's
Mm,
so it's so weird.
yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah. But then Elias, I don't see like I don't even know who he looks like, but we all have the exact
Yeah.
same eyes. So
hmm
we all have green eyes. That's like about the only same things we all got.
hmm And my daughter as well, your
Yeah.
niece, she
She's
has the
got 'em.
greenish eyes and light complexion. So it's interesting, that's for sure.
What
And
side does that even come from? I don't even know where that comes from.
um and I
I guess it has,
don't know.
well, Rudy has it, but I don't know which of his parents that came from.
Oh,
But it's a
right.
Europe, I think it's like a European thing that would have,
hmm hmm
so
Right.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Jesus has his list. He has to go to his list. He's like, well, I have
Mm.
one. Um,
Ask
what
ask her something, Miranda.
is it weird for you that me and oops, wait, hold on. I'll cross that out of the I'll edit that out. That me and your daughter
Okay.
are the same age?
Actually, no, it didn't really freak me out because a lot of northern New Mexico men have children of all
Yeah,
ages.
all ages.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah. Well, it's true.
It is
It's
true.
true. So
It's not their first wife. I'm just letting you know. No, I'm just kidding.
nope,
Um,
nope.
I
Yeah,
think
so
well, I
they
think
have a
Rudy's had like six
family.
wives. There's probably more of us out there.
Yeesh,
Oh
yeah.
my God, that's crazy.
My God is right. I don't know if I
Yeah.
want to
They
share
all
her.
they're all just like light skinned and just have eyes like you guys. That's
Yeah.
that's the only way you know.
Yeah, like if I see anyone else in New Mexico when I'm there and they just have green eyes, I'm gonna be like, get away. I already have a
Yeah.
sister, get away. This is enough. This
That's
is
how I
enough.
feel. Yeah, definitely. Uh,
But yeah, it's weird. Like I feel do you feel sad at all that you and I like had to miss out on like when I was a baby and stuff, or are you just kind of content with what we
oh,
have
I
now?
do feel sad because I would have I was old enough I was very responsible when I had your niece. And so I feel like I would have been maybe a voice. I would have definitely been a protector of you. I
Yeah.
would have fought hard and well to have you probably. I don't know how well that would have gone, but I would have definitely been um, that type of older sister, definitely.
Yeah.
My mama tiger instincts were really intense. you know,
Yeah.
I would have definitely just loved you from the get go, and I would have wanted you to keep you. I would probably gone in trouble because I wouldn't have wanted to give you back if you came for the weekend or
You're
whatever.
like, nope,
I'm like,
I'm keeping
no.
her.
hmm Definitely.
Oh,
So that I am. I do wish I had known you since you were born, and that would have been like awesome.
Yeah.
Because
would've
I
been
only
a-
had
I would have
one.
bullied you for sure. So I would have made you cry a lot,
Yeah.
a lot.
We
No, I'm
would
just
we would
kidding.
have like the older sibling like bullying, but also she would have been there.
Oh,
She
for
would have
sure.
she would have punched you in the face and then be like, "Oh, here's some pizza." No,
No,
I'm just kidding.
I would have punched other people maybe in the face,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
no, like
Well, see,
with
our
my
age gap
daughter.
was too much for her
Mhm.
to like bully me physically because I had been like,
Oh yeah,
hey,
true,
And
true.
that's
No, I'm just
yeah, and that's
She's
not my
just
style
yeah.
anyway.
And
But
then
I got she's
anyone
like
to
I
bully
got other
you.
means of torture. No.
yeah, she's got other ones. Um,
Um,
have you felt since like meeting everyone? Do you have any resentment towards like Rudy and your birth mom that you feel, or
no.
like what does it feel like?
So I've, met them, and I've actually spent time with my birth mother, and she actually came up, and I haven't talked to you for so
Yeah,
long about all this, but she did come up and have lunch with me, her and her best friend, the first person that she
yeah,
told that she had a child
yeah,
as a teenager. They came up to where I live, and we met at a restaurant, and we had a great lunch. And then she came to my house, and then we were looking at some of my baby pictures, and this is kind of funny. um, I go, "Are you sure that Rudy is my biological father?" Because I'm so white. And she's like,
right.
I mean, it just like came out. 'Cause-
And she's all, "What are you trying to say?"
and she goes, "Well, yeah." Like, okay, well, and then I'm like, "Eesh, Nicole." And so I just started laughing, and we kind of all laughed. And then my daughter's like, "Mom, like, why you need to watch what you say," and go, "Well, you know, it is
Yeah,
what it
Hey, you
you're
is."
gotta.
like,
It was a question. It just didn't make sense. You look at Rudy, you're just like,
yeah,
Yeah, but I definitely take her traits
yeah,
completely.
definitely. I think you look a lot like her. Like
Hmm.
when I saw
Hmm.
the picture of you guys together, I'm like, oh, that's
Right.
like who she looks like. And
Yeah.
it's weird because once we got our DNA test back to prove that we were like half siblings or whatever, I'm like, okay. Because I like knew it after we talked and then like heard all the stories and everything. And then like it would have been weird if we weren't half siblings and all the dates
Hmm.
matched up and like all that stuff. I'm like, okay, then there's some other person out here if you weren't her. Um,
Yeah.
but I did like it's weird because if you look, I'm gonna have to send you the pictures. I can't find them, but my mom probably has them. There's a picture where we look the same, but you just have blonde hair and then I have brown. But our hair is like styled the same way and everything, and I'm like, that's
The
so
bangs.
weird. Mhm. And then I
Yeah.
already, even though we didn't like grow up together and we only met like less than a year ago, we have so many similarities as far as like personality and like just weird like little traits like that go that I'm like, that's weird because we've never spent any time together. Like we've only, spent, 4 or 5 days together in real life, our whole lives. And we already had all these similar things, like certain foods we didn't like and like drinks that we liked and stuff. And it's, oops, did I mute myself?
Mm-mm.
no, you're
Oh,
good.
okay. Sorry. I hit a button on my thing and I was like, whoops, I think I messed up. Um,
Just
but
hangs up
that
the
was the weirdest
call.
part
No,
for
I'm just
me.
kidding.
That's what I thought because I couldn't tell if I hit the mute button or like the hang up button because they're both on this little thing. And I'm like, oh, I've really done it this time.
Okay, I got another question, and it's like, when you started looking for your birth parents, what did your adopted parents tell you? Like, did you ask them like, "What do I do?" Or is it just something like a personal journey? Like, I wanna rediscover all this.
Like when I started talking to them, did I like you're asking me what do I want from them now at this point?
No, what did your adoptive parents think of
Oh, I'm sorry,
think of all that?
adoptive. They don't, okay, so they don't know. They have no idea about any of this. And if it would have been like 10 years ago, I I would be blabbing it to them. I mean, my parents would love her. Um, the reason I've kept it close to my heart is because my parents are old and medically fragile, and they
Ah,
just worry a lot. And I don't know if they wouldn't be upset, but my mom would be hurt that I didn't talk to her before all this happened, and I do regret that now. But my brother, who has autism, it would freak him out. He'd be like, well, are you like not my family anymore? And I like take care of his finances and stuff. And so it's just, I feel like I'm living a double life. I actually feel like I'm cheating on them because I feel like I'm keeping a huge thing from them. And it does bother me at times, but then it's like my story, this is my thing. It really doesn't have anything to do with them. It has everything to do with me and Miranda, like my biological people.
Yeah.
And I
It's
try to
two whole
keep it.
different stories.
It is, because my story with them, they were the greatest, and I love them with all my heart. And I couldn't have asked for better. My brother is a sweet, gentle soul, and I love him with all my heart. And so I was always like the special kid. Like I was always like the favorite on both sides. I was like, oh, Nikki's our special kid and blah, blah, blah. And, so I wasn't resentful at all, maybe because I had a good childhood, that
Yeah.
I'm not mad about being put up for adoption. Like I get it. I mean, they were in high school, and then in those days it was just, you'd have to wear the scarlet letter.
Yeah.
You were like branded. Oh my God, you had a baby
That or
out of
they'd be kicked out
wedlock.
of town.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly how it was. In those days, if you weren't married, it was really a bad thing. People frowned upon you. And then I think, well, if they did end up marrying each other, it wouldn't have ended well. And who knows how it would have gone, where I would have gone,
Yeah.
And so I just feel in my heart that it all happened the way it was supposed to happen.
Yeah. And then
Mhm.
And then what is it? All these years later, you find us, and it probably helps that we were like, oh, look, hey, like we had shitty childhoods. Like, we're so glad to meet you,
Yeah.
And then you're like,
No,
okay,
it
now
doesn't
I'm
make me
definitely
feel
not resentful at all because
on, and I'm not
you had
happy at all that, like, I've heard you talk about things from your childhood, and you know, I mean, that hurts me. And I wish, like I said, I wish I could have been there for you, because I definitely would have fought hard for you to have the greatest time you could have had, the best. I mean, I didn't have tons of money or anything like that, but I definitely, you would have been my little sweetheart, just like, my daughter would have been the best. And so, I try not to go there because, I mean, we can't do anything about it.
yeah,
But I'm happy to have you now, and I would fly all the way to your state to beat up anyone who is mean to you or hurts you or breaks your heart. It's like I won't.
So calling Miles out.
I'll call him out.
Well, the first people I would call if Miles does something bad is going to be you two anyways. So
Yeah.
we just have to get on the plane together. You're both in the same
Mhm.
state, so
Yep. We'd do it, and I wouldn't think twice.
I'd be like, I'm already there, dude. Like knocking on the door. Like,
because all of a sudden you just like learn how to teleport.
oh,
My
man.
God, how you're
That'd be
bullied.
nice. Yeah.
Were you curious growing up, like what your genetics and stuff were? Is that one of the reasons you wanted to find like your birth parents, just to see like if you needed to be careful of anything like that?
No, I didn't think about it growing up. I thought about it randomly, and certain people would say, why are you going to mess with that? Just let it be. And then some people would say, you should find out. And so it was always, okay, maybe one day. And then I would just like think, I don't need to know. And then, it's just it's human. You have to be curious.
Yeah.
You're just curious about what's going on, and you always wonder. But then when you have some negative people saying, oh, well, and then I think, oh God, I'm like kind of crazy. So I thought, yeesh, what if everyone's like mentally ill and here I go down, I mean, we all are in a way.
That's so funny.
What if they're all crazy?
Well,
What if they're all crazy?
because I have, I mean, it's just weird. I'm like, what if they're all like in like some hillbilly country doing meth?
Oh.
No, only half of it was right.
No, I just.
That's what I would say.
So
I Yes.
funny.
Or I'm like the blue people of Kentucky. I'm one of
Yeah.
those people. Like,
No,
you just go to those dark. I always think the worst of everything. I'm
imagine like
like,
you find your birth parents and they're like in
cousins
prison for like chopping up their neighbor.
or their first cousins. Oh
Yeah, something
God.
crazy.
Oh,
That would
that explains it.
yeah, you're on
You're like,
that. Explains everything.
oh yeah. I'm definitely getting out of here. Like I'm leaving right
Yeah.
now. Like
That would be my biggest concern. Is
Oh.
well, I didn't know what to expect. Like when I talked to you, like
it's like, well, we got
um,
cousin Jimmy. He's gonna marry you. No, I'm just kidding.
yeah, exactly. She's like, I'm like, oh, we finally found you. Cousin Jimmy's gonna be so happy he finally has a wife. Like something like
So
that.
this is your second cousin,
Yeah, he's also gonna be your
but
husband. Like,
he's also your brother.
Oh, he's gonna be your brother uncle. What? It's like
Yeah.
what?
well, actually, so you know what's something weird is that so there's like a complicated situation. So my
Gosh.
mom, my mom's mom, um, she, so my grandma, she has like 3 kids. My mom and her 2 brothers. Well, back in the day, I won't say anyone's name, but my mom's dad has a brother, and my grandma had a slip up and did it with my grandpa's brother and got pregnant. And so one of my mom's brothers is her what brother cousin? Like
Brother,
what do you?
brother, uncle, dude.
No, I think it's brother
No, brother,
cousin.
cousin.
Yeah, it's a
Brother
brother
cousin.
cousin, dude. So it's a brother and a cousin. I don't know. And it's
What
not
kind of
even like
shenanigans
incest.
is that?
I know. So it's like her brother cousin. And yeah, it's super weird. And half brother, like it's a half brother cousin, dude. I don't even know. But isn't that
How do you
weird? So
celebrate that? How do you celebrate that, dude? How do
they just
you?
they don't even say like this is my cousin. They just say this is my brother. I mean, they were raised together. They were raised together as siblings, so they don't tell people like, oh, this is my first cousin and my brother. Because people wouldn't get it because it's not as like messed up as it sounds. I mean, there was a whole cheating scandal and stuff, but I mean, besides that, like it wasn't some like incest type of thing. It was
Right.
just a slip up, a sneaky little scandal back in the day.
Sneaky little. That
Well,
was
yeah,
real, Miranda. That was real.
I know it was real, but I mean, it was a scandal, and I didn't even know about it until my grandma passed away. Someone was like, "Yeah, that whole scandal with her back in high school was crazy," and like your uncle cousin, and I'm like, "My what?" And they're like, "Your uncle cousin." I'm like, "What uncle cousin? What do you mean? My second cousin and my uncle." And like, he was the only person whose DNA matched just a tiny bit lower than yours on Ancestry. And I was like, "How? How could this be?" But it says uncle match at like 20% too, so I'm like, "Oh, okay." But
You're like, I'm safe, thank God.
yeah. I didn't find out about it till after she passed away, and then I had to start asking. Well, then I just asked everyone. I was like, "Yo, what does this mean?" And they're like, "You didn't know?" And I'm like, "Why would I know if nobody told me? How would I know? How would I know?"
Yeah,
You
true.
know what I mean? So yeah, that was wild.
How would I
But
know?
yeah, how would I know? But see, one of the crazy things is though, is like, what if I'm pissed in a way that this was all kept secret when like it was kind of known about,
Mhm.
to an extent. But like, what if we had known each other? Like, okay, so me and your daughter are the same age. What if I had gone to college in Albuquerque, or what if we had gone to school together? I muted it that time. That time I muted it. What if we had gone to school together or anything? And like, what if
Mhm.
I went to your house, or like, what if I, we have a brother Elias. What you guys are around the same age? What if you guys got married or something, and then like now we found out that we were all siblings? Like, how crazy would that have been? They should have never kept this a secret because terrible stuff like that can happen.
Yep,
No,
exactly.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Like this is my sister-in-law and sister.
I feel like
Like
that's happened. Like I've heard that on like on the news or something. Like they're about to get married or whatever, and
I
then they
saw
find
that
out that
too.
they find out they're actually what brothers, siblings.
Yeah, I saw this thing the other day actually, and it was this couple, and I think they were like in their 20s, maybe almost 30, and they're getting ready to get married, and they did their ancestry and stuff, and it came back, and they're half siblings because like one of their parents like had put a kid up for adoption when they were in high school or something, and they had been together for like 9 years, and now the girl was like, "Ew, like you're my brother, I'm not marrying you, obviously,"
Ew.
and the guy is like but we're in love. And he still wants to marry her. And the girl is like, this is sick. Like, this is disgusting. And she's like, I'm not in love with you anymore. Like, I have the ick, obviously. And he's like,
That's some
I don't have
redneck
the
stuff.
ick. Yeah, and he still wants to marry her. And I couldn't even read the whole article because I was like, this is sick.
And then if they have kids, then the babies are all messed up.
Yeah, like hills have eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like that's what it's
Tier
gonna
C.
be.
Damn, bro, you went all extreme. Nuclear.
This is so funny. Like the kids that are probably like bred up in the
The
mountains.
children of the
Alamos.
corn.
No, dude,
Yeah,
was it? It's the kids that live near White Sands and then also Tier
like
C.
up in
No,
Los Alamos. Yeah, like where all the radiation is, you know, like there's like all those deer that you see that are all messed up. There's probably like people who live back there too with like kids with 3 arms and stuff.
with
Probably
the claw.
Yeah. That'd be so messed up.
Mhm.
God.
Definitely.
Well.
See, the moral story is don't marry your cousin.
Yeah, so it's
Or
not
your
even
half
don't
brother or sister.
yeah, or anyone. Just be careful who you marry. Do your ancestry first. But speaking of that, I saw this
Before you
thing the other
propose.
day. Yeah, before you propose, do your DNA. But I saw this thing about like ancestry and 23andMe and all these places, and it was talking about how like you give your DNA to them and you have to sign that waiver, and it's like 6 pages. I didn't read it. I'm gonna be honest. But it said like you literally give them like total access to your DNA. So like in theory, one of the employees could just take your DNA and go plant it at a murder scene, like at a crime scene and stuff, and then boom.
Is that
Your
what you
DNA.
were thinking? I was thinking they were just gonna clone you guys.
Oh, well, that too. Right. I didn't even think that. I was thinking
You were
about someone
thinking
getting.
the most innocent thing,
I was.
bro. I was
I
thinking
was
like they're
thinking.
gonna clone you guys, they're gonna kill you guys, and then just replace you just like that, like that.
I don't think they'd clone
No.
me.
Yeah.
They'd
Once
be
they
like, oh,
like.
let's pass on her DNA.
Yeah. Once they saw my DNA, I saw this thing the other. Like, if you go on there, you can see all your traits, and you can do a quiz, and it'll tell you like, you know, you're 9 times more likely or 100% chance that you have like earlobes that are connected to your like face instead of like detached or whatever. And it said that I should have like detached ones, but I think mine are attached. And I was like, oh, so it's wrong. And then it said that there's a 90% chance that I like what did it say, that I'm like not smart or something. And I was like, wow, okay, I had to stop because it was like saying the meanest things to me. And I was like, okay, well, sorry, like my dad and his cousin had me. I don't know what to say. But yeah, that's what it said. And you know, what's crazy is our brother is like, he hasn't made the smartest decisions, but he's actually like has like the IQ of like genius level IQ, and he can build a computer from like nothing. He can like do extremely hard math, and like he got like the highest SAT score in Los Alamos like ever when he took it. Like he's very smart. He's just made bad decisions, and then here I am, can't even finish a math quiz. Like it makes no sense. I'm like, okay.
Hey, I feel like that's like something that happens too, because my older brother is like really computer smart and like other shit, and then my sister is like the same way, and then me, I'm like, how do I save this picture to my computer?
Yeah, you can't even figure out like the simple stuff. That's how it is.
And then it's like maybe Word document, and then getting on the internet, and that's the most I can do. And then
yeah,
my little sister's the same way. She's like over here drawing on a computer and stuff. I'm like,
you're like, how can you do it?
How can you do it? Teach me. No.
But all my siblings are really smart. I think we all are really smart in different areas too.
Mhm.
But then like we all have extremely different skills from each other, because I have from Rudy, it's me, you, and Elias that I know of. And then I would like to throw that out there that we know about. And then from my mom, I have a younger brother also, and he does like computer stuff and like audio production. Like he edits like music and does like producing stuff. That's what he went to school for, and that's what he does. And so I don't like doing that kind of stuff. Like even editing the podcast for like a 45-minute segment, if we have to go through to edit sounds, it'll end up taking us 3 days. I swear, it takes us forever just to listen and like edit a piece out. But wild.
And it's not, and it's like for me, I'm just here, just focused, looking at that, and it still takes me forever.
Well,
We're just not computer smart. No.
I guess that's it. We couldn't even get Skype to work today, so
Mm-mm. No.
it took us all like 15 minutes just to connect this call. That's so funny. Well, thanks for coming on and answering some questions with us.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeehaw, brother.